Welcome. I am your host, Dr. Derek A. Reeves, and I welcome you to Inner Workings, where we endeavor to build strong relationships that are healthy, that last a lifetime. Today we're still dealing with the dynamics of marriage, and so the fourth installment I want to deal with is why differences are needed. It's very important that we come to realize that when God first created man, he came to the not understanding, but he came to the promotion of the furtherance of his plan, I would say, because he says it's not good for man to be alone. It's not beneficial for man to be alone, even though he was created for the fellowship of God. He needed someone who was just like him. A part of his innate instinctual urges and needs, man needs to find someone who can accommodate him, who can receive him, his strengths, but also has their own strengths that they may yield or give to the individual. And so God said it's not beneficial for the man that he's alone. All of the animals have mates. All of them are complemented. All of them can connect. And although he can connect to me, it's only on a specific level. He can never connect to the fullness of my omnipotence, my omniscience, my eternality, or even his infinite existence. And so when we deal with this, we come to understand that God said, okay, how then can a system of relationship or in relationship continue to be established? And I'm using this from an anthropomorphic phrase because we know God knows the end before the beginning. And so what God does in his brilliance, he shapes man, he puts him to sleep, and he opens his side, and he takes out a rib, salah, which is an accommodating chapter or an accommodating side, and I'll say appendage, or even as if it's a side chamber. He takes him out, a rib, he sews him back up or closes him up, and from the rib, the salah, from the very foundation of man, he produces a wombed man, a woman who is now of the same classification and species, but yet uniquely different in that now she accommodates him. They are balanced when they are together. There's an imbalance when you have too much of the same thing. All of nature reveals to us that you have to be balanced in all that you do. You can't work out too hard. You can't take too many of a certain type of vitamin. You can't drink too much water. There's even such a thing as water toxicity. And so balance is one of the fundamental rules of the universe. Balance can only come after the order and the pattern of how God created the universe. In the universe, we find that there is a need for stability. And so the electron has negative charge. Then there is the proton that has a positive charge. And these two things attract one another. And literally what they do, they keep one another from flying out of the orbit of what we call the systemic atom. And so these forces, they attract and they keep the atom together. And so the opposing unique differences that weren't necessarily in opposition, and so maybe I shouldn't say opposing, but I will say the opposite forces, they are the things that uniquely keep one another drawn together in the relationship. And that's why there must be a fundamental understanding that you cannot build a marriage on similarities. Although there must be specific things in common, things that you can relate to, your relationship, specifically in covenant and in marriage and in friendship and maybe even in the family, it must be substantiated and built upon the basis of unique differences. The differences are those things that grant individuals expertise or strengths in regions or areas that the partner may not have. If you have two people who are over-concerned with cleaning, then the house will be stringent, but it won't be a house that can be lived in. And so typically one individual's a little more lax, the other a little more stringent, and together there is balance, a balance that enables one to live, to express themselves, but yet not go down the path of utter degradation of the environment. And so why are differences important and needed? Because these differences bring to a relationship unique perspectives that cause the relationship to be balanced, that enable each individual to express who and what they are, but yet in blending who and what they are, the relationship can thrive. The importance of differences are they cover our strengths, but then we must even strengthen our differences that we might utilize them in a popular and in a positive manner. If one is overexertive in cleaning, then they'll be going behind everyone, picking up, and that can be kind of nerve-wracking. But yet, when one is just totally loose and unorganized, that's an entropic chaos that's brought to the relationship. And so we utilize our differences to bring stability, but we're always trying to bring our differences into the conformity of a pattern of order, structure, and even balance within our differences. And so differences bring unique perspectives. Adam had most of the masculinity. Eve had most of the femininity. When we talk about God as a masculine being, we're not talking about gender, but we're talking about the mindset in which God approaches all things, from the capacity of authority, of brute strength and power if need be, but yet with persuasive and calming, nurturative abilities. And so Adam, masculinus, Eve, femininus, or filare, the nurturer, the one who brings qualities to help build, and Adam, the one who brings qualities to help strengthen predominantly. Not to say that each did not share certain qualities because they came from the same pool, but Adam predominantly now exercises in masculinity, but yet is capable, when he builds his weakness, he's capable of being nurturative as well. Eve, nurturative, but she's also capable, as she nurtures and builds herself, of being strong and authoritarian, but yet with a unique twist. And so differences are needed to bring balance. I'm sorry we're out of time. I am your host, Dr. Derek A. Reeves, and this has been Inner Workings. Until next time, God bless and keep you.